Good morning, fam. A day in the life. Keith Spencer, Kingdom Performance. Typically, how we rock, man, we up about 4 o'clock in the morning, making sure we're getting hydrated, plenty of water. Got to get the coffee in the system, man. Can't do a day without the coffee. Then we at Kingdom from about 5 to 6, no, 5 to about 7 o'clock. A couple sessions with high school kids that are in season now, getting up a lot of reps, make sure that they're confident, consistent. Then, we hit the gym for the workout, knocking that out. And then we run personal errands, may have, some college kids or local pro athletes pop up. Midday, we get some work in there, getting errands, and then we back, in the gym in the evening time. So, yeah, man, we just locked in. We just, consistent. We're, making sure that we're, maximizing our time, maximizing our day, getting the most out of it. So, yeah, just wanted to take y'all behind the scenes a little bit, show y'all how we moving, how we operating on a day to day. So let's get it. All right, first workout of the day, 5 a.m. We up here with DMR, Dylan Matlock Reed from Allen High School, class of 27, dynamic guard, super athletic. We're really focusing on, his footwork, finishing touch, making sure he's consistent with his catch and shoot. So, we're in season now. We've been going at it pretty hard all summer, all season long. So we're getting ready for playoffs. And so we just want to make sure everything is right, man, making sure he's feeling good, feeling confident, ready for moments, to knock down big shots, get into his spots. Really been putting a heavy emphasis on, him just having better footwork, right? As you see here, we really want him to develop that opposite foot first and keeping it smooth and rising up, being light on his toes, getting to his spots with fluidity and rising up with confidence, right? And so we do a little bit of contact stuff, having bouncing away from that defender, getting into the open spot, getting his feet set, playing on balance, knocking it down, and working on some passing stuff. Him coming off the handoff, getting downhill, attacking that big. He's left-handed, so we want to put a lot of emphasis on him being comfortable finishing with his right hand. So that's main things that we're tightening up on. But again, he's a great kid, phenomenal human being, loves the gym. Here twice a week, again, 5 a.m. He's beat me here, to the gym, man. So you can tell he wants to get it in, wants to get better. So, we locked in, getting the catch and shoot threes in. We always make sure we hit every spot. Again, just making sure he's confident. It's the same shot every single time. Trying to keep him off that front of the rim, getting that elbow to the eye, and just being consistent. And we want to work against some screen stuff, him getting the open spot, rising up, feeling comfortable, shooting from all spaces, all places on the court. He may not get a lot of mid-ranges. His team is heavy on threes and drives. But again, any moment, I want him to feel like he can get to it and rise up if that defender decides to drop, since he's so athletic and he's able to get downhill as he is now with ease.
My name is Dylan Matlock Reed. I go to Allen High School, class of 2027. I'm a junior, 6'5". Man, this is like right here. This is where it starts at right here, man. 5 a.m. workouts. It's like the time you don't want to go up. You go before school. You feel like you're going to be tired, but if you just get up, get straight to the gym, you're going to have energy. And that's where people like getting their extra hours. That's like what people talk about all the time. If you put in that extra work, you're going to get that playing time. If you get that playing time, that's where you go to work at, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Dealing out.
Yeah, man. So like, thank you so much for on, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute though.
John for 2 years.
I got a new studio downtown.
Hey, live back. All you gotta do is be a mom. Yeah, these niggas doubted me. That's all good.
This meeting right here is with an NIL agency called Free Game. So my player, Adriana, that is a senior graduating from Capel High School. She's from Europe. She'll be going to the University of Arkansas next season. And so, we're on this meeting. She's meeting the team for the first time. We've been talking to this agency for probably about the last 6 months or so. So this is, her kind of welcome meeting with the other staff members. So you have like your marketing people, you have people that handle logistics. And so she's meeting everybody. She's getting acquainted, kind of going over some line items, some things for her to expect over the coming months. They just announced, the partnership, with Adriana recently. And so, wanted to get on this call, to just be support. It's all about support, and especially this family, they're from Europe, new to the industry. And so, I like to just, learn myself, as, the NIL space is taking off, as well as just be there as a support, a helping hand of any sort to just answer any questions or provide clarity from my vantage point. Now we back on court. I got my guy Julian Spotzer, played at Paul Quinn, is now, entering his professional playing career. He'll probably either be doing the G League or the TBL. So this is, workout with him midday, as well as high school senior Lucas Sutherland. Lucas, man, is a great kid. He moved here from Florida a couple years ago. And, we connected, man, and he's been in the lab consistently twice a week, just going crazy. I remember before the season, he was probably about like 10 points junior year, 12 points at most. And, we was working, and I told him, I was like, hey, man, like, dude, there's no reason why you can't average 20 this year, bro. Like, you putting the work in, you got the skill, like let's get to it. And so, he's averaging 25. This is him going into playoffs, first round. And so, again, he can shoot the ball really, really well. Super proficient and consistent across the board. So, working on some catch and shoot, working on some screen stuff, passing, him attacking the defender, and Julian is just one of those guys. It's always great to have in the gym. Serves as a really good mentor to the young guys. So as much as I can have him in the gym, of course, to work on his game and to help him, in his career and everything that God is doing with him, it's good to have him in the gym with, some of the younger players, because he's like a coach on the floor, man.
My name is Julian Spotzer. I played at Paul Quinn College for a little bit and decided to step away and pave my own way. Sometimes we have to take a detour on our journeys. That being said, I just tried out for the Dallas Stampede. It's a new TBL team. I was able to get invited to training camp there. And then shout out Millie Baller's agency. Chaz Layer is a great agent. She was able to get me a G League Texas Legends tryout. And, we in the lab, getting ready, grinding, super excited. And shout out my guy Keith. Private school, man.
Always in here.
I'm saying, always in the lab.
My name is Lucas Sutherland. I go to Richardson High School. Right now, we're getting ready for playoffs. I'm going to be playing South Grand Prairie. Should be a good game, We're going to be the underdogs in the game, so we got to come in prepared. I feel like I've been an underdog my whole life, and I think a goal that I want to do is come out of high school, go straight Division I, and yeah, that's my goal.
We back at it with another workout. This is with Jair. So this is right after, the workout with Lucas. Just working on some ball handling stuff with the small ball, Phil Handy. The legend himself created this product. We put it into use. So Julian wanted to get a little bit more handle work in. So, got him working a small ball. Then we transitioned to the regular size basketball. Jair's a point guard, senior, is graduating, still trying to figure out what's next for him. But again, another great kid that loves the work, loves the grind, play for our AAU team going into his senior year. So this is going into his junior year. So this a good kid, man. Great kid, having a facility and loves to just get better. And so, working some handle stuff, working some little toss passes, attacking the basket, finishing around the rim. We're getting into a little bit more game situation stuff where they're making a move, getting to a spot, defender reacts, cuts them off quickly. They got to retreat out, make a pass, and then chase, and then get another shot. So Again, it's coming off nice and smooth, creating separation, good passes, implementing that small ball with it. Just mixing up the workout, man, having fun with it. Activating those fingers, footwork, passes. They come off, they get the regular size basketball so they can finish with that. But again, another great workout with these young gentlemen, these young kings out here trying to get better. That's what we're all about.
My name is Jair Span from Dallas, Texas. I go to June Shelton School, and this past season, it wasn't great overall, team-wise, but I performed pretty well, in terms of individual stats. My goal is aspirational to play college basketball, and I'm just staying with it, you know what I'm saying? Just working every day with Coach Keith every day, or at least once or twice a week, but I'm staying in the gym, I'm running, working out, doing the little things to separate myself from everybody else.
Okay, this is a behind-the-scenes film session. I call it Kingdom Classroom with two of my players from Capel. We got Prisha in the room, and we also have Avery. Prisha should be a senior next year, and Avery will be a junior next year again. So they both play with Adriana. As Adriana graduates, these will be two kind of their primary players, along with Amber as well. So again, we're just going over some game film, breaking down some stuff, just showing them things from a different perspective, man. Like, I'm big on perspective. I say that word a lot because it's huge. So it's definitely a core value of mine, because I always want athletes to just see the fullness of the game, right? This fullness of life. And so it's important that we impart our wisdom, not just from the physical standpoint, but from the mental and the spiritual standpoint. So, this is us just kind of going through some different things, talking about actions, talking about making sure you setting up your screens, and when you come off, these are your different options. And, when you're off ball and that guard's coming off that screen, how you lift up in the space to make yourself available for pass and passing angles and different things like that.
We were just talking about external, right? Like, so chasing players. As a trainer, as a coach, it's very possible to work with a guy, to train a guy all the way up from, say, when he's in high school or at a very low level, you know what I mean? And, or even if he's in college already, and you work with him, and the work that you put in with him gets him to the next spot, let's say the NBA, or let's say high level overseas, or wherever he's at, it's possible to have that happen and then it not change your life as a coach and as a trainer. Now, I think that the real reason that that's the case is because there's a metaphysical reason for that, right? Because even, expecting that in a way, I feel like it's relying on the external. When your success as a trainer, your success as a coach, your success as whatever it is, I'm a strength coach, but whatever it is that you do, how far you end up in your industry, the Charles Poliquins of the world, who trained however many Olympic athletes, however many high level athletes, that comes from the internal realm. Your ability to do that is internal, and your success is internally predicated, just like the athletes. Even though we're giving them game, we're giving them skills. I'm teaching guys how to operate in a weight room, and, increasing their tendon health and their jumping ability and how fast they can run and how high they can jump and whatnot. But nonetheless, though, me looking at their success and thinking that that's going to fundamentally change my life that's wrong metaphysically. That's incorrect, right? How far I end up going in this industry is predicated on me and what I have and what I'm doing and how I'm operating fundamentally, regardless of where, even if he only ends up being a high level varsity guy, you know what I'm saying? Or even if he doesn't end up being a high level varsity guy, it's still based on what I'm doing. You can only have what you already have, so that's Nero, or that's actually it's really the Bible. It's the book of John. I'm forgetting the verse right now, but a man can only have what is given to him from heaven. So that would be heaven as conceptualized as the psycho-spiritual realm of heaven. So meaning like you can only have what you give yourself from a spiritual and emotional standpoint, right? So even with training, it's like I can give you all the drills and the skills in the world, but my career as a trainer, that's only going as far as what I already have internally. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's real. I mean, so let's go deeper and just unpack the why. Like, let's go a step further and ask ourselves and our culture and community as to why we feel that the leverage is the goal. Why are we leveraging? Why isn't it just about that individual's growth? Like, why can't it just be about, okay, this is where this athlete is, this is where they aspire to be, right? And granted, there's other factors that, determine and dictate where that player goes. Why can't that be kind of the main focus to really help them grow, evolve, and become who they're supposed to become where they are? Why does it have to be a situation where it's predicated on, hey, if he can't go here to then be able to pour back into me and what I got going on, then there's no value?
I think we see that so often. We see that so often with like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I get it. Like, as somebody who's in the business, as somebody who's in it, you know what I mean? I'm trying to build a business, and all of us as trainers and coaches are trying to build a business, right? Obviously, alongside trying to give guys real deal value and trying to advance their careers. But in all honesty, I think it's a little much to even ask guys to. Oh, I'm not gonna say a little much because it's not a little much, but like, again, I'm gonna refer back to what I just previously said. I mean, it's like it's external. That's not within. Like, you're looking at a guy, and you're like, well, hell, you made it this far. You should be reaching back. You should be shouting me out. You should be telling motherfuckers. Oh, telling people like, hey, this is my coach. This is what he did. Whether that's some bread, whether that's other players, whether that's putting my name on blast. But again, it's like, I think even that expectation, I feel like is it's you're outsourcing. You know what I mean? It's like your success. You're outsourcing your success. It's like, man, if this guy doesn't do X, Y, and Z, then I'm not gonna go as far as I want to. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, however far I end up, that's gonna depend on me. And I think it's a lesson too, man. It's a lesson in like just being able to be like, hey, I'm gonna give you all this game, and obviously like we're doing good business, but I'm gonna give you this game and I'm gonna just let it be what it is, because I know that based on the internal realm that I'm creating, the frequency that I'm creating, that I know I'm gonna win big in this trainer coaching space, right? Irrespective of if any of the guys that I coach, ever reach back. And I have to know that, and I have to know that internally, right? Even though like, and I think even them reaching back is also dependent on me kind of having a degree of detachment to them reaching back. Because I also feel like guys are like, there's probably a lot of guys in their ear, man. Guys go to the league, guys go to whatever level that they make it to. I've worked with pros, I've worked with guys who are at a high level. I think expecting them to reach back, they kind of feel that. And then in their minds, they're thinking, well, I made it because of me. I had to put in the work. I had to pay you for the coaching. I had to sacrifice. I had to get to where I was going. And I understand that, you know what I mean? And I think that with that being the case, we have to remember, hey, because the players are the players, but at some level, the coaches and the trainers are players in their own right. You know what I mean? You're trying to get a big contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a player, you're trying to get a big contract. You're trying to be on the global stage. You're trying to make your name. You're trying to be well known. Well, hell, your coaches are trying to do the exact same thing, but that's dependent on them, period, right? Whether it's the content, and I think just like that kind of expectation. It's kind of like a girl, you know what I mean? Like you hanging out with a chick is if you're expecting something from that chick and she can feel that you're expecting something from her, you're that much less likely to get whatever it is you're expecting.
Yeah, man. I think that, that I want to kind of stay there with the expectation. I feel like that's something that, as coaches, we set the standard, right? We set the parameters. We set the culture. We build the culture. We set the expectations, and then we expect, okay, if this and this happens, and this should happen. But at the end of the day, we're still dealing with people. We're still dealing with young individuals who are still navigating this in real time, right? We're dealing with, young athletes, that are highly, clouded, popular. They're having a lot of this stuff happen to them in real time, and they're trying to figure it out. And so I think when you expect too much from somebody who isn't ready to take heed to their expectations, then that's when things can go south, right? And so, expecting certain things and demanding certain things as a coach and trainer in the physical space, in the physical realm, in the performance realm is one thing. But then we have to then separate that expectation when it comes to business, because they've never been here before, right? They're dealing with these, things and situations in real time. And, we can't hold them to that same regard. We have to allow things to play out. Like, I'm big on, staying the course, letting things play out, like letting things happen organically and naturally, because whenever it happens in that way, it's there to stay. It's more sustainable versus you feeling like, okay, I held this person to this expectation after, the training and the development piece has, happened. And that's where we kind of get into our own feelings and emotions, and things go in a different way. Why didn't he do this, or why didn't that happen now? So I think at the end of the day, it's like you have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and you have to, meet people where they are and then develop them in that certain realm. So we're developing them on the court in that realm and letting that happen and letting those successes occur naturally. The same thing has to happen once they've, moved on and they're in a different space. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we never wanted to be, stated that I'm only doing this because they told me. I'm only doing this because he said I should do this. We want them to feel that and embody that truly. But same thing when it comes to training, we can give them all the game day one, but they're not ready to receive the game day one. So we have to still allow the process to do its thing, and then them be able to understand and conceptualize it when they need to conceptualize it. That's not going to come day one. That's not going to come month one, right? It's going to come in time, over time. And so I think, we have to somewhat handle it in the same way, with that same patience, which is, man, we struggle with just being patient. Like, we want it now. We want it to happen now. But, that's where, us as mature adults, leaders, have to kind of take a step back and truly just be in a support where that person currently is.
I know exactly what you mean. And more so than anything, I feel like this will tell you, I feel like how you handle this situation as a coach and as a trainer, it'll tell you whether your heart's in the right place. Because, I've seen this before, you know what I mean? Where, like, hey, I did this for you. You owe me something. I feel like that's the wrong, to really get what you need, you have to already kind of have it in a way. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I feel like coaches and trainers like leaning on kids to, hey, this is going to make or break my career, whether or not this kid reaches back. No, it isn't. It never was. And that was never the case.
Let's tap into what can potentially be the root cause of why maybe some individuals don't possess that early
As a coach or as a player?
as a player. Like let's unpack like maybe why they don't get that expectation. They don't get that needing of reaching back at an early age, right? And so from my perspective, man, I feel like the culture's tainted. I feel like the industry's tainted. It's oversaturated. It's watered down, right? Like you have individuals that are involved that really shouldn't be, right? They have their own ulterior motives and they're doing it for this reason. Like their whole reason for getting involved is to get the expectation. It's not for the pure, genuine passion, right? So the way, the state of the game is, it's very transactional. It's very me, I is how can I leverage? How can I get what I need versus how can I give what I have to help these individuals grow, right? And so you look at the state of the game and, players jumping from team to team, like players at tournaments and, directors from other teams recruiting and throwing them jerseys during halfway through the tournament, telling them to play for them. Like it becomes more of a status thing, right? And so what that does is I feel like it is subconsciously training the player to miss the mark. Right. It's they're thinking, oh, okay, cool. Well, shoot, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and I don't need structure. I don't need responsibility. I don't need expectations. I don't need anything, right? Like I'm gonna go jump on this team and they don't practice. All they doing is playing games and we winning trophies and I ain't gotta work out like that. I can jump around and train, whenever I want to or whoever I want to, and there's no structure. So in my opinion, I feel like the structure, the loyalty, all those things kind of subconsciously train that individual, that young athlete, to not develop that part of heart. It causes them to not do that because of the environment that has been created for them when even they didn't even know no better. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like from my perspective is that as leaders, at coaches, trainers, developers, that we have to do a better job of, getting the athletes on a realistic regimen. A realistic regimen that they're going to be exposed to at the next level. Realistic expectations, right? That are going to be put on the table for them to follow suit. And once they get that at an early age and they're able to go through kind of that system, I feel like over time, that's going to then develop them to naturally want to pour back, want to give back because they know this is my community. These are my people. This is what they've sacrificed, right? This is what I'm sacrificing. And collectively, we need each other in order to get to the destination. You know what I'm saying? But if that's never something that's on the table because they feel, oh, I can hop to this team right now and go, just play tournaments only. I ain't got to worry about training and practice. I ain't got to worry about showing up. I can just pop up whenever I want to and start and get what I need and bounce. That's training the player to think like, I'm in control. And granted, yes, the player is in control. They are in control, right? But at the end of the day, no man is an island. No man can ever get to where he desires without the right team and system in place. So from my vantage point, I feel like the culture is teaching these athletes to not stand on the standard, to not stand on the expectations, to not believe in it. Yeah. So they don't hold them because it's so transactional and it's so I can dictate and determine what I want to do when I want to do it. So how can we shift that aspect?
Man, that's such a great point. I feel like you can't really have this conversation without discussing the portal, right? The portal, NIL, and even like you mentioned before, like AAU and kids just hopping around the teams because they know it'll like you said, like let me throw a jersey at you during the middle of the tournament, and I know I'm gonna get to play, and I know I'm gonna get to be the man or whatever, and I don't really have to develop, and I don't really have to show up to practice and do what it takes, and I think here I seen a TikTok the other day, randomly scrolling on TikTok, don't recommend, right? But occasionally there are some gems on there, and it was a guy, I think he played football, and he mentioned, he was like, hey, you know where I learned how to be shiesty? You know where I learned how to be, what's the word? Just got a bit deceptive and get people to do what I want without really having to, you know, do what I need to do on my end. And he was like, college coaches. Isn't that tough, right? He said, I learned that from college coaches because they butter you up. They say whatever they need to say to get you on the squad, and obviously AAU teams are doing a very similar thing. And I think sports in general are in a tough place, you know what I mean? Like we really have to examine ourselves, I think. And I think it's obviously the guys who are supposed to be at the top and stay at the top will be there, period. And I think that's a matter of, again, looking out for the kid himself and looking out for his development and truly just giving a shit, man. I know that's crazy, but like, I know that's easy to say, but it's like, you know, sometimes I watch certain trainers, and I'm not gonna say any names, obviously, but it's like, man, do you give a shit about this guy? Like I know I see him on your Instagram all the time. Do you care about this kid? Like, are you really invested in his development? Or when he's not popping, when he's not the shit right now, are you still gonna post him? Are you still gonna be associated with him? And it's compelling to me, but it's a character thing, I think. And I think that's going to even in the age where, you know, athletes are getting paid younger and younger. You know, like I think Mikey Williams. I think he got like $1 million shoe deal. You know, kids are that once you open that, he had it in high school. Once you open that door's open now. Kids are going to get paid younger. Social media is going to be more important. I guarantee you, mark my words, as we're recording this video, Valentine's Day, February 2026, there will be middle schoolers and freshmen with straight up real deal sponsorships. So it makes things more honest in a way, and coaches will have to be more honest. I think that's why a lot of these famous college football coaches and stuff, like I'm thinking of one person in particular, Nick Saban's of the world. You're gonna have to change how you operate. You can't talk to him like that. He make $500,000 a year or whatever. NIL paid him $200 something. So you gonna have to figure out how to really. It's not just a matter of grabbing a player and then like, oh, he plays at a high level and I need him to win a game. You're going to have to be fully invested in this guy's development. And not only that, are you going to have to be fully invested? He's going to have to know that you're fully invested to take it to the next spot, you know? And I feel like guys, like, people are always trying to, people are so, and I know this is going to be woo-woo for a lot of coaches. Like, a lot of people who are going to see this are going to think this is like, you know, woo-woo, but it's really not woo-woo. To communicate that you care, you have to actually care.
You gotta embody
Yeah, right. And it's really easy to figure out. Kids can feel that. Kids feel when you care, and kids feel when you like. And I feel like it doesn't matter whether it's some obscure AAU team in the middle of Wisconsin, or whether it's the most poppin', college team. It's like kids can always feel when you're either and because of social media and the internet now, kids can feel when you're trying to trick them as well. You know what I mean? Kids are smarter than they've ever been. So it's like the whole age of swindling somebody. No, that's going to be done. And even whether it's a skill coach, whether it's a skill trainer, or whether it's a strength coach, because a lot of strength coaches are guilty of this. Where I see guys, what they do is they'll work with a guy for, I don't know, for 3 weeks, and then claim that they're responsible for his athleticism. No kidding, man. Like it'll be a guy who's like a specimen, like an absolute masterpiece of movement, and I'll know the strength coach, and I'm like, you work with that guy for 3 weeks, you're not responsible for the way he moving.
Mommy and daddy is.
Exactly, right. It's genetic, but it's and I'm not saying that you didn't do anything to help him, but we have to embrace being real. Embrace being real, and embrace I don't even know how to, like, the words to put it. Just the next thing is going to be authenticity, right? We've already figured out everything, right? All the research on how to run and jump fast and how to dribble a basketball well, that's already been done, right? The next step is being authentic.
Okay, so right here we have our year-round skills academy, where we focus on building the complete athlete. So we primarily have our beginner level and intermediate level players at the academy. Each day we have a specific focus. I'll show you here on the board. So we have a specific focus each day where all the coaches and players know what we're working on, what we're focusing on, so that by the end of the week, they're able to have every aspect covered, right? So it's not about just coming in here doing random drills and hoping it all works out, but it's all about having a system. It's all about being specific and detailed, right? And letting the athletes know what they're doing and why they're doing it, right? And now the coaches are able to, check for understanding and review and be able to really hold these athletes accountable, because that's what it's all about, man. This industry, it's getting bigger. The game is growing, but when things grow, sometimes it gets a little bit out of hand, right? You have certain people, certain programs doing different things, and I'm not knocking nothing. I'm just keeping it real. Like, some people love the game and they want to be a part of it, but sometimes that love lacks knowledge, right? And you just come out here and you just doing stuff and you just pray that it sticks. But when you're talking about really developing players and time being of the essence, and you have these kids that have these dreams and these aspirations, we want to make sure that we're not just rolling the dice, right? We want to give them the best opportunity possible to realize their dreams, and that just comes through consistency, comes through systematizing, it comes through conceptualizing, holding them accountable, right, and just building them from there. So yeah, that's how we got it, man. That's where we at. Say what's up to the vlog, man. We got Coach Austin in the video.
Hey, man, it's a good day at Kingdom, man. The energy's great, man. Yeah, tune in, man. We're gonna keep dropping a lot of content. They heard me?
Yeah, they heard. This microphone.
Yeah.
We got Coach Alir right here.
Good job. Good.
Coach Alir, what we working on, man?
Oh, we're just coming off the screen, just read and react. Either a pass, bounce pass, react towards his hand. If you see a hand in the bottom, right past his ear. His hand is up, bounce pass.
That's it. Good job. Good work. We got the GOAT right here, Leo. Yeah, Leo, I'm on this vlogging thing, man. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to do my thing. I'm doing a little day in the life, but really it's a week. So I'm just doing little stuff here and there for the week and just put something together. I'm gonna need your help. I didn't tell you yet, but I'm just gonna need you to create me a thumbnail. Yeah. So and I'm gonna put the video together. So we got Leo, the GOAT, right here. None other. Shot yourself out, man.
What's up? I'm Leo. POV on Instagram, and yeah, Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's all you need. The work speaks for itself. He ain't got to say much. When you creative like that, you don't got to do a lot of talking. You just let the work speak for itself, right? We got my guy, Coach Trevor. Coach Trevor is one of our coaches here. Say what's up to the vlog.
What's up? What's up, everybody? With Kingdom here. Get to work.
That's it. It's all about that work, man. Everybody's energetic. Everybody's in it for the right reasons. This is what the academy's all about. Right here, we got Coach Jock. Coach Jock, say what's up to the vlog.
What
man.
up, what up?
Vlog.
What up,
Yeah,
man?
he locked in. Yeah, you know you're gonna see more of Coach Jock, man. You know, we got some stuff, that we working on, some speakeasy vibes. So yeah, Coach Jock, we got a team in here working out. They come here once a week. So not only do we, host our athletes that are in our academy, but we also have teams that play for other organizations. They'll come in as a group and they'll do weekly trainings with us. And so this is the DC Kings and Queens organization. Shout out to Coach John Thompson, a really good brother of mine, right? He does a great job. So he's got one of his teams in here. One of the mothers has organized it. She's over there in the corner getting some content. They do a phenomenal job. Just great people, man. That's all about being around good people, good people. That's what it's all about. And then we got Coach Jameer right there. Coach Jameer's locked in. You see him with the tie-dye Kingdom shorts on. Hopefully we drop those soon. So yeah, that's what we on, man. This is, day in the life. We at the Kingdom. It's chaos, but it's controlled, I promise you, right? So again, it's all about pouring into the players, getting them right, getting them better. And yeah, that's where we at. And to wrap up the video, we are here at our Kingdom Collab. So this is kind of a gathering that we host once a month. So every third Thursday of the month, we host this. We invite out, of course, our staff is there. We invite other, entrepreneurs in the industry, be it trainers, coaches, doctors, PTs, strength coaches, or everybody, man. This, we're all, in the field of helping people, and getting them to be better. And we're all trying to grow our businesses, grow our mindsets. And so it's always good for us to come into the room, learn together, grow together, and be better. So the full episode should be dropping soon. So tap in with us. Yes, sir.